very good afternoon to you and welcome to Farm Kenya. And I'm back. I was away for 2 weeks and taking some break, and now I'm back, energetic, so psyched up. And guess what? In the spirit of coming back strongly, I thought about farmers and the cost of input. It's almost ridiculous when you look at input prices in the country, and that trickles down to the cost of food in this particular country. So when you talk about food security, when you talk about making sure that each and every Kenyan is covered when it comes to matters to do with food and access to quality food, then we have to look at the cost of input, which has been going up. So question is, how can we bring in mitigations to make sure that we are keeping our inputs manageable and in the process keeping our output or the cost of the final product also at a manageable range? That will be our discussion today. We have innovations in this space, and today we'll be tackling the issue of black soldier fly, popularly known as BSF. How can you utilize BSF farming to bring down the cost of production? In studio I have Francis Kabiru, who is the program manager at Miramar International Foundation. We also have Onesimus Zablon, who is an agronomist in the same organization, Miramar International Foundation, and they'll be giving us details. If you want to make the value chain for BSF, how can you do it? What are the benefits accrued to it for you as a farmer? If you want to do it large scale or small scale, how can you effectively do it? That will be a discussion today right here at the Farm Kenya show. Apart from that, also, ladies and gentlemen, drum rolls, because man is to food. I don't know, I can't remember that scripture, but it says something to do with I can destroy both of them. We have some amazing dish today, and Chef Ron Kamau is here with us. Chef,
yes,
I'm back, man.
Welcome back, Noah.
You see how my skin is glowing. I've been eating different things out there. I haven't tried out the snail, but one day I think we'll make snail here. Today, what is on the menu?
Today we'll be making a chicken bowl. Components, we're going to use brown rice as a base, chicken, some bok choy, and garden peas, and finish it off with soy sauce based kind of sauce.
Okay.
And that's basically it, with some also gherkins, something as similar to what we actually did a while back as the salmon bowl. So instead of now salmon, we're using chicken and a few variations of ingredients. This time we're just not using kimchi though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So today we can call it a bad affair, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about bad. But BSF is good news. It's no bad news, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at some news. All right, and to start us off is matters to do with inculcating and including and utilizing technology in our agricultural system, especially at the training level, where the Cooperative University has taken a major step in transforming Kenya's agricultural landscape with the acquisition of a state-of-the-art server, which is aimed at enhancing farmers' productivity and income. Now, Professor Kamau Ngamau, a Vice Chancellor of the Cooperative University, said the institution is set to leverage this robust infrastructure to facilitate seamless interaction between farmers and various stakeholders across the agricultural value chain, a pioneering initiative aimed at enhancing farmer connectivity, combating market cartels, and bolstering farmer incomes.
We have received this server, which was kindly donated by the Africa Development Bank. This is part of the wider Kenya Rural Transformation Center's digital project. And this is a very important project where we are targeting to empower farmers and the whole value chain in the 3 counties We are talking about the potato value chain, the dairy, and also the maize value chain. We are talking about the Nakuru County, Narok, Baringo County, and also later we included Nyandarua County. And the main objective is to ensure that the farmers are able to get into an ecosystem where they can be able to receive all the resources that they need to produce in terms of the inputs that they require, in terms of seeds, in terms of fertilizers, in terms of pesticides, in terms of even the information that they require, whether it is weather data, whether it is agricultural extension services. All that kind can be obtained from one source through the platform, and even market access to credit and all that.
All right, and this one of the biggest challenges that is facing our agricultural value chain is the issue of post-harvest losses. So we produce, but we lose so much in the process. How can we minimize that? Now the Warehouse Receipt System Council has stepped up in the sensitization of farmers on post-harvest losses, even as the country actually is currently recording an increase in losses occasioned by rains that are being witnessed in the country currently. Now, chairperson of the WRS, that is Warehouse Receipt System, Felicity Nkirote Bereri, say that the country is currently recording a 40% loss in post-harvest losses, translating to around 16 million bags of annual production. She added that WRS has started receiving maize in some of the warehouses in Trans Nzoia and Uasin Gishu counties to forestall losses resulting from poor storage. Now, the CEO of Warehouse Receipt System, that is Lucy Komen, she said that they have expanded warehouses to handle other commodities such as potatoes and green gram, and that a warehouse has been actually certified in Kilifi that will specifically handle pulses. The WRS Council is meeting with different stakeholders in Nairobi to review the act that govern the operations of the WRS to align it with the changing realities.
Addressing food nutrition and security through professional agricultural commodity storage and reduced post-harvest losses to bridge the commodities deficit gaps witnessed in every harvesting season in this country.
Data-driven.
Increase in productivity due to access to credit that facilitates the farmer's ability to purchase necessary farm input for timely and efficient production.
We have to have the ability to mobilize private capital, to build quality warehouses across the country, to be able to impact farmers in every county. We need to be able to mobilize private sector, and we think that bringing them into the infrastructure side of it could actually be something extremely viable.
We have a strong opportunity to transform the way we do agriculture, to transform how the financial services system engages with the commodities sector and the agricultural sector. But we also have a huge opportunity for regional trade. It is our view that the Commodities Exchange and the Warehouse Receipt Systems Council could also trigger more trade across our borders in the spirit of the East African community, and to set Kenya as a hub for commodities trading.
And we live in the age of data. How about in agriculture and even agribusiness? The Kenya National Farmers Federation, that is KENAF, recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Agribora, an agri-fintech company, to leverage on technology and de-risk smallholder farmers, improve farm productivity, and facilitate effective trading for their 1.6 million members. Now, speaking to KTN, Agribora CEO Kizito Odhiambo said that through KENAF's membership, they will be able to expand their reach and transform the sector through the use of data-driven agriculture.
In agreement. Smallholder farming in Kenya is key to the country's food security and economy, and as mobile technology use increases and improves in rural areas, there is a huge potential to digitize agricultural services as an end-to-end ecosystem.
We are living in an ecosystem in Kenya where agriculture is very fragmented. Very many middlemen and women are between the farmer and the ultimate service providers, be it at the input side or the final market. And so what we are trying to do with technology is to disrupt that fragmentation by enabling grassroots businesses become a one-stop shop, so that a smallholder farmer only has one trust relationship with a service provider at the grassroots, where they can purchase everything from soil testing to plowing to fertilizer and seed, and ultimately sell to the same grassroots business their output market.
We've had a lot of ICT companies coming to Kenya promising to do one thing or the other, and quite a number of them have turned out to be, just talk. But just looking closely at what Angribora is offering, their value proposition merges, coheres rather nicely with our pillar number 6, because we do believe that the software that they are offering, including in geo-mapping, in credit access, is what we really need so that we can support our commitment to our members.
Data-driven agriculture is a system of using big data to supplement on-farm precision agriculture to make better decisions. While it is difficult to reach farmers at an individual level, the best way to help farmers use data is through aggregation through cooperatives or groups using simple technology such as USSD, short messaging services through simple feature phones, or what we commonly call Mulika Mwizi.
And we came up with a very simple technology, the USSD code, where we are offering 4 items on COVID-19 information, on market facilitation, weather information, and technical advisory services. And we were shocked at how much the uptake was, because we started, I think, in July of 2020. And by September, we had 300,000 farmers signed up to this platform. And I think as of now, we have close to 700,000, and we've been offering different, we've been sharing information and knowledge through this service.
Through the transactions that go through the Agri-Hub, we are also able to start monitoring the crop development. Gone are the days where we will now just speculate about how much yield we will receive from our fields. By leveraging on ground data such as date of planting, the varieties that have been planted, and then satellite data, because every 5 days we're able to get an image of the field, and we're able to analyze this through our AgriMap service to enable stakeholders such as agri-processors and governments have in-season analytics and insights about what has been planted where, when, and how much has it been raining, how much do we expect in terms of yield.
There are, however, various challenges with getting farmers on board and to adapt new technologies due to the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, when you start looking at how you're transacting money through e-wallets and these challenges that arise there, that has been one of the pain points, but also looking at how you can digitize grassroots businesses that do not have the devices that are able to actually use such kind of technologies. Most of them do have smartphones, but have not really interacted with their smartphones well to be able to run their business over them. So you realize that they still continue tracking their processes on paper, and then in the evening when they are settled down, that is when they move it onto the phone. And so you want to disrupt that to make it a process that actually is done on a day-to-day basis.
Kenya has over 7 million smallholder farmers, and apart from earning through the sale of farm produce, this technology opens numerous opportunities through connecting various services in the whole value chain. Data is used for various purposes in agri-food systems. For farmers, it can be used to make decisions of what to produce, where to produce, and when to produce on the farm. Making such decisions requires the support of localized data from the farm, such as soil, and imported data from outside the farm, such as weather data and market data. Another use of data for farmers is monitoring and assessing how the crop is growing and whether the required resources are available. For KTN News, I'm Paul Thiongo.
Thank you very much, Paul Thiong, for that report. Indeed, utilizing data to make decisions that are impactful. And talking about making deliberate decisions, especially when we touch on the arid and semi-arid areas, learning institutions from arid and semi-arid areas of Laikipia County have been encouraged to devise innovative ways of water harvesting, and these aim to cushion them from the unpredictable weather patterns. National Drought Management Authority CEO, retired Colonel Hared Aden, speaking in our Senyero Primary School in Segera Ward, Laikipia North Sub-County, say that they had partnered with learning institutions to address challenges of unprecedented issues of climate change.
Iwe ni maji, iwe ni barabara, iwe ni madarasa, iwe ni vyoo, kwa sababu haya maendeleo yote inagusa mtoto, na maendeleo yenye inagusa mtoto, hiyo ndio kisasi ya baadaye. Sisi tunaomba katika area hii ya Segera, mchukue zile miradi ambaye mnapatiwa, mchukue kwa mikono miwili.
Tulianzisha hiyo program ili kwanza kuonyesha that hata kama area hii yetu ni dry, area hii ya Laikipia North ni dry, miche ikitunzwa mzuri na ikipewa maji mzuri itastamili ukavu. Alafu ili kufunza watoto wao wenyewe agriculture mzuri ya kutunza miche. Sababu gani tuchague miche ya matunda? Ni sababu matunda ni chakula, na itakuwa ni chakula mzuri, itakuwa ikipatia shule pesa na kufunza hata familia njia moja ya kujipatia pesa.
One of the schools where they have used in an innovative way in terms of harvesting water, where they have a 300,000 water tank that supplies the demand of this school. Also, this is the water that the school intends to do in small scale, the issue of drip irrigation.
All right, and one of the ways that also rather infrastructures that can be utilized to mitigate these changes that we're seeing with climate change is building proper dams so that we are able to collect what we are able to collect. And this has been a challenge at the Galana Kulalu project. We understand the scandal and the ineffectiveness within Galana Kulalu, but that narrative is being changed, where a private investor has taken the nation by surprise after digging a 30-kilometer canal and 14 dams at the Galana Kulalu Food Security Project in Kilifi County in less than 1 year. The Agricultural Development Corporation allowed the Nyumba Foundation, a subsidiary of Mombasa Cement Company, to undertake irrigation activities on a 53,000-acre piece of land. And now, according to Samhuk Patel, the chairman, the infrastructure development alone has employed more than 1,300 Kenyans and will consume 5 billion shillings to complete.
When you come here next year, you will be having a crop. We are planning a biodigester. We are also planning a refinery. If I get that for the oil, we are not interested. It's just to kill the palm, which is coming to the tune of 34 billion every year.
All right, so it's possible if there are people who are actually intentional in that regard. Right now, we take a short break. When we come back, we will be having a conversation on issues to do with BSF. But I have some wonderful gentlemen with us here today. Onesimus, thank you very much. Onesimus, thank you very much for making time. We have Francis. I was calling Francis, calling them Onesimus, and I could see the confusion in their eye. But starting with you, Francis, I know BSF, black soldier fly. It is one of the emerging alternatives when it comes to animal feed. Just to lay the foundation, yeah? Black soldier fly. We hear the word fly and what comes to mind is fly. Are you picking out the black ones? What is what is BSF? What is black soldier fly? Is it different from the conventional fly that people interact with?
Thank you very much. Yes, BSF is very different from the normal conventional fly that we know. Number one, we know that it doesn't not carry any diseases, so it's very safe for any human being to handle. Number two, it's very beneficial because it helps in converting organic waste into fertilizer, and we also get the larvae from it. We get protein for animals, which makes it very economically viable for farmers.
Definitely. Yes. Onesimus, and we'll go deeper into this discussion about economic viability, but when it comes to the cost of input in the country as we speak, you are an agronomist, you speak to farmers each and every single day. How has that changed, and why is getting cheaper alternatives necessary at such a time?
Well, thank you. I think I'll address it this way. We all know that the cost of production in Kenya, both in animal feeds, animal production and crop production, is high because we need to get fertilizer, which we need to import. And we also need to get protein is the most expensive part of animal feeds. So with the black soldier fly farming, we can be able to get affordable, let me call it cheap, source of protein, which is quality, and you can also get good organic manure, which you can use in the farm. And at the end, you could have cut down the cost of production, increasing your margins.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very critical. Gentlemen, I want us to take a short break. When it comes back, we go deeper, and when I say deeper really, from nothing, we aim that you learn how you can utilize this BSF value chain by yourself. If it is small scale, if you want to go commercial, big in it, how you can do it effectively. Because if we talk about national food security in the country, then such innovations are critical and should be the mainstay knowledge for each and every Kenyan, especially those of us who are interested in agriculture. For now, of course, the show takes a short break. When you come back, the discussion still touches on BSF. Stay tuned.
Wapwani mpo, Kilifi na Kwale tumewasili. Sasa unaweza burudika na Star Times DTT kila maeneo ya miji ya Kilifi na Kwale. Wasiliana na customer care kwa nambari 0719 077 077 hivi leo. Upate taarifa zaidi pa kununua DTT Star Times Decoder. Star Times, enjoy digital life.
Let's do this.
Sasa mimi naweza wapi na masufuria? Si uite wanaume waza kwa kusaidia.
Kumbe ndo kwa mjoli.
Nigonge uniue baba, siona mimi sikufai.
Wewe ndo mamangu.
Aibu.
Season of the Arts of Living is here. You will not believe whom we have in store for you this season.
I usually buy during a sale, but I'm also a very hard negotiator.
The homes are nothing short of magnificent, exquisite, and unique.
I think it just brings out that girlish era that I am in.
This season, the bar is raised.
Once I started Floral, it just seemed to be themed all over.
Take a vicarious journey with me and let's discover, explore, and engage.
KTN Home welcomes you to the ultimate entertainment extravaganza.
My hands, your waist, my heart.
We've got the hottest shows and the biggest stars.
Yeah, yeah. You're my provider. Yeah, you're my provider. You are.
Get ready for a television experience like no other.
I'm a Yankee babe.
The perfect balance of excitement, suspense, and pure entertainment. On KTN Home. Welcome home.
Now welcome to Kubash in the Hood.
Where it's absolutely so good.
Mbona upige ugali kama mkate?
Asante tena.
Nazunguru.
We say what? Na posta shara de wa. Piga picha.
You're the universe and I was.
The person that you decide to spend your life with is one of the most important decisions you're going to make in life.
Do anything.
Hatungedhani ati tutakuja kuona. We are just friends.
By the alikuwa anaita teacher.
I married a unicorn. I am treated like a princess, everything I expected.
I used to tell her I need 4 kids. Yeah.
Those 4 kids are there. Already. We have 4 boys.
Yes, we have 4 boys.
Wapwani mpo, Kilifi na Kwale tumewasili. Sasa unaweza burudika na StarTimes DTT kila maeneo ya miji ya Kilifi na Kwale. Wasiliana na customer care kwa nambari 0719 077 077 hivi leo. Upate taarifa zaidi pa kununua DTT StarTimes decoder. StarTimes, enjoy digital life.
All right, welcome back to the Farm Kenya show, and we are talking about BSF. I know earlier on I was joking that it sounds like a gospel music group, but I remember that was BMF, I think. Yeah, I live for you. Anyway, I'm old. But now we want to touch on BSF, and this is Black Soldier Fly. It's not the conventional fly, so that we get it out of the way. Actually, reading a little bit about it, I was told it doesn't have a mouth or something. It's not able to carry diseases. So the safety nature of it that you had alluded on, Francis, earlier on. So for starters, there are 3 products here. I know there is the first product, the second one, and the finished one. If you want to go into the BSF value chain, even if you don't have a farm, you're totally blank. Where do you begin, Francis?
Very good. I think where you begin, number one, you have to identify source of waste, because you have to use organic waste. whether it is from your kitchen, whether it is from the farm, or whether you get it from the market. Number two, you also have, of course, have to have a structure where you're going to start now your bioconversion. Because after you collect the waste and you introduce it now into your structure, which you now use this kind of containers to hold your waste, that's why you introduce your larvae. So the other thing that we need is the larvae. So the larvae, you can do it in two ways. You can introduce it as neonates, that means the ones that have just hatched, or you can actually get the pupae and put it in a lab cage where your BSF is going to pupate, then mature, then you have the mature fly where they will mate, you get the eggs, and you go through the whole process of metamorphosis. Yes.
That's kind of interesting, because I know when we talk about the larvae and the pipettes, this whole processes, from this wide angle we're just saying is three crates of dirt.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's pretty different. If I don't know whether you can get a close up for this. Okay, I wanted us. Okay, we have the pictures now.
Yes.
That's how it looks. Okay,
yeah.
I wanted to dig deep into that. But you said there are different ways that you can sort of introduce these elements and get the whole value chain.
Yeah.
Onesimus, is there a right way or a wrong way of handling the initial stages, and what are these?
Well, before you start doing black soldier fly farming, you have to undergo training. It's not rigorous training because you are not doing research, but you need to be taken through the process so that you understand. For the BSF to thrive, there are some conditions that you need to attain. He mentioned the structure. The structure he mentioned is simply a greenhouse. Now the greenhouse will depend on the volume of what you want to produce. It can be sized according to what you need. So once you have a greenhouse, you can be able to control the humidity and the temperature. The black soldier fly, the adult now, the fly, is only active at around 31 to 32 degrees Celsius. Now if it's put in a condition whereby the temperatures are low, they will not be active. And when they are not active, they cannot mate. And if they don't mate, you cannot get fertilized eggs. So that's one of the things. If you mess with it, you lose everything.
Okay.
Number two, you are supposed to check on the quality of the waste you are using. If your organic waste is contaminated with the other fly, the other fly is going to mix with the black soldier fly, and you could have messed with the eggs you are going to get. I think those are some of the things you need to take care. But the best thing is you come, you get trained, you understand the procedure, then you will be good to go.
Okay.
You'll be able to see how the structure is and how the activities run.
Definitely. Be equipped with the knowledge, which is very critical. Francis, so there are timelines to this. Flies do have short lives.
Yes.
So you have, again, that's why training is critical. Take us through the timelines. You've gotten your waste. You have assessed your waste, and you say that you have to check the quality of your waste. I don't know what that means. When you talk about, just Onesimus, what does it mean when checking the quality of your waste?
Well, what I meant, you should avoid contamination. We also do sorting. The black soldier fly, the larva cannot feed on plastic. They cannot feed on polythene paper. They cannot feed on metal. They just feed on organic biodegradable compounds. So when I talk about organic, I mean fruit waste, vegetable waste from the market, kitchen waste, something that can decompose.
Definitely.
And I think that's the mess. That's the biggest mess we have in waste management. Yeah.
Oh, sorting it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be miraculous. One day you come and you get your larva is feeding on metal. that will be interesting. But Francis, so I'd like you to take us through the timelines. So when you're doing this, you have your waste, quality of waste. You want to introduce your larvae to start breaking down that waste. Break it down for us in terms of timelines.
Very good. So after you get your waste, as Onesimus has explained, you will sort it out, then you can crush it or you can chop it, then you put it in a tray like this one, the one that is in front of us. Once you put it there, then you can introduce 7-day-old neonates. 7-day-old neonates, I mean, these have already come from the eggs. Let me just take you through the whole process of metamorphosis, how it goes through. So once the flies have mated, you have your eggs. Your eggs will take 4 days to hatch. Once they have hatched, you have to put them in an environment where they have better food, or they have easier chewable food. For example, like a little bit of maize bran, wheat bran, something like that, or chicken mash. That way they will be able to feed on the little tiny food. And then once they get to day 5, now you can introduce them into the organic waste. In the organic waste, they'll spend there about 14 days. Within those 14 days, the larvae will have become big, and also they will also have converted the organic waste into frass, which is organic fertilizer. Now that is where now you have to separate the two. So you have to separate the two because you want to go into the next stage. So the larvae, you can dry it, or you can dry it, especially when you have your cows and your goats, the ones that you want to feed. Or if you have chicken, you can feed it as live. It's up to the farmer to decide based on the animal that you are feeding. Then now the pupae, now you introduce it now into the larve cage, where now you put it there for about another 18 days or so. Now from there, it will pupate, and it will undergo something that we call molting. That is where they remove the outer cover and the fly emerges, and the whole process continues over and over again. So the fly will, it has a lifespan of about 9 days. So the whole process takes about 45 days. But every day you are introducing new neonates into waste, you are harvesting your eggs, and you are bringing in new organic waste. So the whole process is cyclical. And through you have harvesting, and you're also introducing. Yeah,
definitely. So it's always good to, you can just come, gentlemen. So as you see this one, it looks, this is the...
you can actually, it's actually safe to handle. You can even
safe to handle.
Yeah.
So let me see, and it's moving.
Yeah, it's moving. It's feeding on the organic waste.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this is what you introduce to the dirt. It's normally smaller.
It's very small, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it breaks down, Onesimus. When it feeds on the waste, now it adds weight, and the waste becomes dry.
Actually, scientifically, they say normal maggot feeds 2 times its body mass. So it eats more than even its body mass. It eats 2 times its body mass.
Okay.
And the reason why I told you have to ensure that the conditions are conducive. These maggots, all the larvae, they are only active when the temperatures are high.
Okay.
If it's cold at night, they'll be docile. But if it's warm at night, they are going to continue eating on the waste. In advanced countries, they have managed to control the environment for 24 hours. So instead of you doing 14 days, you can do 7 or 8 days because the conditions are controlled. That's temperature and humidity is controlled maybe by the machines. But for us, we rely on nature because we want to make it as cheap as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take this waste.
Yes.
Now it's eaten. It's fattened.
Yes.
You sieve it.
You sieve it. Now you get your pupae, which is now, this is the pupae.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this is where they will be for the next 18 days. Now from here, now this is when they are going now to hatch, and you going to get your fly.
Okay.
Now the fly, you introduce it in somewhere we call a larve cage, which is actually an enclosure with a netting where they will be able to mate and lay eggs.
It's called larve cage.
Larve cage, because that's where they go to make larvae and lay the eggs.
Okay. Farmers are also very romantic.
Yes.
Okay. So here they are more docile.
Yeah.
They are more docile because here they are just maturing.
Okay.
And like I had said, in science there is that process called metamorphosis. Now they are changing from larvae. They want to go into now the fly.
Okay.
So here they are docile. The food that they had eaten here is enough for them for this stage.
Yes.
So they mature, and then once they mature, your fly will come out. Now, almost immediately, they start mating now, male and female.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then the shells that you get here, they are not wasted because they are also good soil stabilizers.
Okay.
So you take them still back to the farm.
Yeah. And in terms of that process, maybe just going back here, because these ones are very active.
Yes.
The larvae. You say this is animal feed. Actually, you can serve your chicken this.
Yeah.
How do you prepare that?
So, so for chicken, for example, when you're doing free range,
yes,
you can feed them directly. So you can actually weigh and know that my chicken feed on this amount of feed every day.
Okay.
So you need to produce that amount every single day.
Okay.
If you are doing the others like the layers, now once you get your larvae, you can dry it, you can boil it, dry it, crush it, and keep it.
Okay.
So you have your stock. You don't have to feed it live.
Okay.
So you can keep your stock.
Onesimus.
Yeah.
In that stage, even pigs really is
Yeah.
good.
Well, for pigs, in college we have pigs. We are also going to do fish. Those are the animals that can feed on them when they are live. Pigs can do them live, fish can do them live, and chicken can do them live. For those people who are doing broilers, I think this one is the best because you need to fatten them. But for those who are doing layers, you have to control the protein you are giving them. We have done an experiment with the pigs, and the pork was, for those who have tested the other one and this one, they were saying it's tender and soft.
Yeah.
So it's something that has been done. He's one of them.
Yeah, the pork expert.
Yeah, so the pigs gained more weight at a lower cost. You know, we used to do 4 kilos a day, but when we introduced the BSF, we lowered it to 2 kilos of commercial feed. So the other 2 kilos is 1 kilo of this and 1 kilo of this one. We'll talk about it later. So we are able to lower the cost of production.
Okay.
And when we are selling our pig after 3 or 4 months, the margin is more because you could have saved a lot of 2 kilos every day.
I see that. So when we sieve that, we
have this, which is the frass. The frass now is the organic fertilizer. And this organic fertilizer, from our experience, it works very well. Whether you are doing conventional farming, whether you are doing controlled environment farming, and by controlled environment, I mean greenhouse farming, hydroponics, you know, it works very well. We have seen how we've been able to produce vegetables, tomatoes, capsicums using frass with no additional commercial fertilizer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So those who want to do fully organic,
yes,
this is the way to go.
This is the way to go.
Okay.
And there's another way of, there are some farmers I have seen, they decompose this one, mix with water, and they spray their crops as foliar, high in nitrogen. So if you have kienyeji from this organic manure and you meet with ugali, I cannot explain.
I like the way you contextualize it, When you have kienyeji and you mix with ugali.
Kienyeji vegetables, you get chicken from the BSF.
Definitely. And that's quite interesting. So in terms of the waste that you take in and introduce you know, the issues to do with the breaking down. How much do we lessen? For example, 10 kilograms of organic waste, you've sorted it out. When you take it through the process, how much remains, and what is the math here?
Very good. So once you get your 10 kgs of organic waste and you introduce it in a tray like this, and then you introduce your BSF larvae, so you are going to get about 3 to 4 kilos of frass, which is the organic fertilizer. And then you are going to get about 1.5 to 2 kilos, or sometimes more, of BSF larvae. But also, like Onesimus has explained, it also depends on the kind of waste that you are getting. For example, if you get organic waste from the market and you mix it with also abattoir waste, of course they're gonna be bigger. Yeah, because of course you are getting more of the protein also from the abattoir waste, and that means even the type of frass that you get is gonna be organically richer if you are able to mix the two.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of this, but more of the market waste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe to add on that,
yes,
I think I'll use this term. Even this waste need to get something like value addition. Like you have gotten the waste from the market, you have to let it to decompose. Because if you give them when the waste is fresh, it's going to be difficult for them to consume.
Okay.
They like consuming something that is rotten and decomposing. Number two, if you can look at this, they cannot be able to feed on this one. So if it's possible, you have to you have to crush it using a machine. There's a machine that crushes the waste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is actually just a normal hammer mill.
Yeah.
You don't need to go for an expensive machine.
Make it easier. Yeah. Definitely. In terms of value addition at that initial process, the larva. We've talked about animals that can feed on it on live when they are live like that.
Yes.
The chickens of this world, sometimes pigs. For the farmers who want to either store for future use or package in a different format for selling, for example, how is that handled?
Okay, you can do it this way. Like I had explained earlier, you can boil it and then you sun dry it. After you sun dry, you can decide to either of these two ways. You can have it just as is, or you can extract fat and have the crude protein just by itself. Okay, then now that way you can be able to store it for long. But then again, what you do now for the fat and the protein, they can be used by different farmers to mix different feeds depending on what you are rearing.
Okay.
Yeah. The protein, after you dry it, you can crush it and you can use it now to mix with the other ungas now, but now as the protein additive, instead of going for the soybeans or going for the fish meal, which is very expensive. Because remember, here you almost have zero input in terms of cost.
Okay.
Because the only investment that you are making here is the structure for bioconversion and also logistics. That is it.
Okay.
After you have invested on the structure and then you have logistical means, that is it. You don't need to invest anything else.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Onesimus, there is now, once this stage, once they become flies, they leave a lot of shell behind. Then the flies, I think, live for 9 days. Then they die. You say there is no wastage in this value chain.
Yes. Well, maybe to add on that, I think my colleague did not tell you his background. He's a biochemist. So when I am producing this, he can look at this on getting, is it chitin?
Yeah,
chitin.
It's chitin.
It can be used to make some beauty products. It's something that also can be ventured in. Now, as in value addition, instead of us just leaving it at animal feeds, I think scientists can look into this and make some beauty products, maybe for women and something, and even for kids. Back to your question, man, you just be like that. Okay, now back to the question. When the fly has come out of this, they leave a shell behind, which is rich in calcium. And when they die, the flies, we collect them. They decompose. The good thing with the dead flies, they decompose. The good thing with the pupa shells, they decompose. You can either grind them into powder, mix them with animal feeds, or take them to the garden. If you take them to your kitchen garden, the soil is going to be rich in calcium and maybe iron from the dead flies. Phosphorus. So there's nothing that is being wasted here. Actually, if you get 10 kilos of waste in this tray, there's nothing that you're going to dispose, as long as it's organic or it's biodegradable or it decomposes. So in short, the BSF will take the smell away, make it safe for you to handle, and add value to it. So we have frass here, but this one is not frass. But if you take it into the farm, it's going to build your soil structure. Things like aeration, water retention, and it's going to decompose after some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Francis, we have less than 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
I see some Azola there.
Yes.
Somebody's wondering what is happening with Azola. How does it fit into this whole conversation of BSF?
Very good. So the reason why we have Azola here is because we also wanted to demonstrate that now with BSF and Azola, you have a balanced diet for your animals. So you can harvest your Azola, which is grown on any aquatic place, or you can have a tank, like a fish tank, which you can grow on top, just floats on top.
Okay.
So once you get it, you dry it, you mix it with this, you have, with BSF, you have a balanced diet for your animals.
Okay.
So it actually lowers your cost of production by more than half.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Because in
incredible.
terms of inputs, in terms of feed, you're getting most of it from BSF and from Azola.
Okay.
Yeah.
Onesmus,
Yes.
as we wrap this up, I know there are farmers who are watching. They're saying, maybe I should go into that. I know you've spoken about lowering the cost of production for farmers, and we've seen the process. What is your clarion call to these farmers?
Okay, thank you. What I'll say as we wind up, Francis has talked about the commercial part of this, but for the farmers, as I said, just like Moses in the Bible was asked, what do you have in your hands? He said he was having a walking stick. So for the small scale farmers, you can use what you have. Instead of you getting the tray, you can cut a packet into half, and you can start with what you have. We have had farmers who have come for a training, and they have done this at a lower cost. The only thing maybe you need to get is the starter kit from us, but the other things you can use what you have.
Okay.
And maybe to finish, for the youths, I like to encourage them to get into this, because one way of creating employment, one way of feeding the nation, and putting an extra coin into the pocket.
Definitely.
So we are open. They can come to our place for learning.
Yeah.
They'll find me there, they'll find Francis there, and together we'll work on this climate change thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So when the youth are doing anguka nayo, but at the same time, wanaanguka na BSF, na wanaanguka na Azola pale. Muhimu sana. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think this is a conversation that has been very rich, and the practicality of it, I think we've learned, is something that we can do. But of course, beyond the show, they can look at Miramar International Foundation, get some help, ask questions, so that they can be able to venture into these processes that lower the cost and also, you know, contribute to the larger conversation of food security in the country. This has been an incredible conversation. Francis, thank you very much. Onesimus, thank you very much. We appreciate. And thank you for your biblical examples. I was wondering, Francis doesn't read the Bible. We'll take a short break right here on the Farm Kenya show. And when we come back, we'll be focusing on the other part. We are preparing chicken ball. Chicken ball, maybe that chicken ate some BSF, so it's one of the best chickens. Chef Ron will tell us later on. But right now, Farm Kenya takes a short break. Stay with us.